All righty. Welcome everyone to Holy City Happy Hour presented by Charleston Culinary Tours. My name is Charlie.
My name is Palmer.
What are we talking about tonight, Palmer?
We're talking about some vaccines a little bit, some openings, some barbecue, kind of. We got a lot of things to talk about.
Very nice, very nice.
So we always start with what happened in the past, what did go on. And I wanted to start out with this little story because I thought it was fun. So our Post and Courier, Charleston's newspapers, biggest newspapers, food critic and food writer Hannah Raskin tweeted the other day. So we have opened up as of yesterday. I've opened up a new phase of our vaccines where more folks can get vaccinated now. It's people 55 and older than that. And then other folks in jobs where you have a lot of interaction with the public. We will talk about later. I think restaurant workers were included in that. But Hannah tweeted that she has been looking for a vaccine for her husband because he is immunocompromised. Now, if you have done any looking around for vaccines around Charleston, you'll know that while, like you're available, you can go get one if you're, in these categories, more people than ever, or like half the state or something now is like eligible to go get vaccinated. They're hard to come by. They're getting snapped up. The appointments are getting snapped up pretty quick. Demand is higher than supply, which makes sense. So she tweeted, she's been looking for one for her husband, and she ended up looking outside of the Charleston area in a rural part of the state in Hemingway. If you guys don't know your Charleston barbecue history, Hemingway is where Rodney Scott of Rodney Scott Barbecue got his start as a pit master in a family restaurant there that I believe is still open. So she says, just got my immunocompromised husband a vaccine appointment in CVS in Hemingway because I went straight from checking Charleston to the state's great barbecue towns. And you out there in the world might know, if you know, barbecue in general, Southern food in general, the Charleston food, South Carolina food, that there's a lot of amazing barbecue, a lot of amazing restaurants in general outside of the big Charleston, the big hubs. Like there's, especially in the far away, kind of far-flung rural towns, I wouldn't call them cities, towns. There's some amazing little hole-in-the-wall barbecue spots to be had. So she noted this also, Holly Hill, which is where Sweatman's Barbecue is located, which is one of the places where Anthony Bourdain, rest his soul, went one of his first trips down here. He went to Sweatman's Barbecue, and Sweatman's is amazing. I've been. So she noted, she was like, Holly Hill's all booked up. So if you're looking out that way, just so you know. But I thought this was a great idea. If you're looking for a vaccine for yourself or your loved one, you might try looking outside of your immediate area if you have the time and the resources and the transportation to travel to find one to a place, some amount of time away. And if you're doing that, check and see if there's a great barbecue place nearby in that town or another great restaurant, because there's amazing little restaurants that aren't on the Condé Nast lists because they're not in Charleston, all over the state. So treat yourself. So I just thought this was a great idea. So if you guys are out there getting shots, look and see if there's any great barbecue or just great little restaurants out that way. Treat yourself while you're out there.
I think that sounds great. Awesome.
Yep.
We had an opening happen that folks seem to be pretty excited about. A place called Laurel opened up at 161 Rutledge, which is near the MUSC campus, which we were talking about before we went on. It seems to be becoming its own little food hub. There was this expansion coming off of Upper King Street down Spring and Cannon, and now it seems to be around this like Rutledge corridor or from Spring Street south. So really starting to become this interesting hub of really eclectic mix of restaurants. But Laurel is Spanish and Portuguese inspired, so very much expect tapas. And they are open Tuesday through Saturday. So give them a look. And best of luck, Laurel.
Absolutely. Good luck, Laurel. Always happy to see something new. And yeah, it'll be interesting to watch that little quarter develop and see how that looks in a couple of years. Good luck. We're excited to try you. Very nice.
Absolutely. I do love a good tapas place.
Me too. Me too. And you got a fun little booze story you got here.
Yeah, so really popular restaurant out in Mount Pleasant called Crave, and they have a sister location called Mill Street Tavern. They made the decision over COVID, over pandemic time, they switched their entire liquor selection to only offering local liquors. So if you go to any of these places, do not expect your typical orders unless your typical order is local. But yeah, it's owner Peter Woodman. You know, he was saying, I was just giving lip service to saying local businesses are all important, and he's like, I'm not really seeing that. And you know, Grey Goose and Kettle One, they don't care about us or my employees, but these local distilleries do, and we care about them. So we're going to do that. And he said that it sounds like it's entirely been very much welcomed by guests that have come in, and they're more than happy to pay an extra $1 or $2 for a local spirit. So yeah, so we've got a really great distillery scene here in Charleston. And so it's very cool to see the restaurants coming on board with that as well.
Absolutely. That's a great little initiative. I hope we see some more places pick that up and maybe like move in that direction where we just, you know, you're visiting here, so you'll drink booze that's from here. That's what we got. Yeah. I loved that. Cool. So we got some things that are currently going on. This first one I'm really excited about. So we talk a lot here in this space on this channel about Fresh Future Farm. A urban farm, urban garden store, radical education space, radical community space in North Charleston here. They, or rather she, their leader, Jermaine Jenkins, the founder of Fresh Future Farm, is having, or has had, I'm not sure where they're in the process of having, a documentary made about her and about the farms. Really cool. Yeah, and it looks great. I watched the trailer. I don't have to play the trailer, but this is a great, you know, look at Jermaine and her mission and why she started Fresh Future Farm and what all that's about, like all the things that she cares about, the things that drove her to open this space. But also, you know, like just a great story of, like we've talked about food deserts, food apartheid in America, and how important this problem is to solve, how crucial this is, feeding people in food deserts, you know, healthier stuff and getting people access to healthier food. So they have a Kickstarter going. I think the film is not out yet. I encourage everybody to go to the website. You can look at a trailer here and on the Kickstarter. They are trying to reach 50,000. They've only got about almost 11,000. And if you do contribute to the Kickstarter, like you guys are probably a little bit familiar with like Kickstarter and Patreon, same thing, where like you contribute different amounts and you get different things, like a mention in the credits. The level that I contributed to, I get a recipe from Jermaine, I get whole recipe books. There's lots and lots of levels. So I encourage everybody to go to the website, watch the trailer. This looks like an amazing film and just like a story that needs to be told, not just about Charleston, but about like the entire country, right? Like their food deserts, food apartheid happening all over the country. But Jermaine's amazing in the story of her and the struggle she's been having here with, like, she doesn't own her land. She's been trying to own her land. The lease is up. This has been a whole stressful thing. And that she says, she's like, you know, I feel like a sharecropper. You know, like my ancestors, like I work this land and I care about it and I use it to feed myself and my community, but I don't own it and I'm not allowed to own it. And why can't I own it? So it's, you know, it's not just kind of like a shiny, happy, like, look what this person is doing. It's a lot of, it looks like it gets pretty in depth with like the stresses that she experiences trying to make this dream a reality and run this space. So do check it out, do contribute. Again, I think we're looking at it to come out in 2023. Check out the website and check out the Kickstarter. Give if you can. And, you know, if you're not that interested in the documentary, as we always say, please just give money to Fresh Future Farm. You know, like, we love them. We want them to exist and continue and grow. So feel free to just send some cash their way. But I think this is going to be an amazing, amazing movie from what I've seen, the trailers that I've seen. So if you're interested, definitely give this a look. Give it a look. Yeah. What else?
Sounds awesome.
Excited to see it.
more legislation to talk about this week. So there is a bill that has been proposed in the State House. So in the mid-19th century, South Carolina wrote its constitution, and a law banning saloons was enshrined in the South Carolina Constitution in the mid-19th century. Well, now a senator is trying to drum up that constitutionality aspect and restrict liquor licenses for certain restaurants. So according to the law, so saloons are banned. So places that are exclusively drinking establishments. And so right now, to get a liquor license in South Carolina, you have to be primarily and substantially serving meals. And so he has proposed a law that in order to get a liquor license, a location has to have 51% of its gross revenue from food and non-alcoholic beverage sales.
Okay.
Which is a little threatening to some places. I can think of several places in Charleston that wouldn't muster that.
Yeah, really change their whole setup to get there.
Yeah. So the law, not the Constitution, the law that is as it currently is, they can engage primarily and substantially in the preparation of serving of meals, must be equipped with a kitchen utilized for cooking meals. I know Cocktail Club on King Street, they had to like build this like structure near their bar to make it like a separate kitchen to be within the law. But they are called Cocktail Club. Like they serve great food, but you go there for cocktails.
They are, yeah.
They have to have menus for food posted and readily available for customers to see, and must prepare hot meals for customers each day they are open. So it's Charleston, our Charleston senator, she's kind of been like, this is, well, maybe an issue for my area, because his issue is the senator that is proposing it is a Columbia senator, Harpootlian, and it's targeting the 5 Points bars, because there's been some of them that like it's like 99.4% of their sales is alcohol.
Yeah.
So apparently 5 Points has become a I don't know if this has been a long time thing, but especially recently it's become a really big problem with the surrounding neighborhood and drunken college students. And so our Senator Sin has said, maybe you can make this a Columbia law, not a South Carolina.
The entire state.
Burns Alley, Upper Deck, definitely not.
Yeah.
If you think this is an archaic portion of our Constitution, and don't think this law should be put in place just to bend to this, maybe write to your representatives and say you don't support it, because a lot of really cool establishments, at least around the Charleston area, would definitely be affected by this if 51% of their revenue has to come from food and non-alcohol.
That's insane, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah. So right to your reps.
Make your voice heard. Good to know. Thanks, Charlie. That is good to know. We'll put out some postcards. I saw somewhere recently that, now representatives and senators and folks are getting so many emails so easy to do that it's kind of hard to cut through the noise. So if you'd like to contact your representatives about anything, this or anything, I've been hearing recently the postcards are a really good way to go. Just FYI. For our next little thing, lots and lots and lots and lots of places are hiring around Charleston. And I think that's because we're all maybe a little bit gearing up for a post-vaccinated summer or a vaccinated summer. And I think, a lot of restaurants, have been running on smaller crews through the pandemic. And now we're trying to beef back up in anticipation for, I imagine we're going to have a lot of tourists, a lot of people traveling to Charleston. imagine a lot of us are going to be wanting to eat out and go to bars and things.
Yeah, we're also coming up on spring break season, which is typically the 2 weeks on either side of Easter tend to be two of the busiest weeks in Charleston. Typically really hard to find parking. But yes, we're definitely just based on culinary tours. We are booking up like through April. And I imagine restaurants are obviously seeing a similar change in numbers. So getting prepped for that.
Yeah.
There were some of those places that are hiring that you saw.
Yeah. The short list that I made, and this is not comprehensive. This is just a few spots that I've just noticed in the past day. Life Raft Treats, which doesn't even I think maybe she has a truck, but that's not even a brick and mortar place. Life Raft Treats, her amazing creative ice cream truck. She's hiring. Brown's Court hiring for bakers and everybody, and they're we'll train you, and they're lovely people that work at Brown's Court. So please go work there. They're great. Rare Bed is hiring, and again, I think they're front of house, back of house, anybody. Palmetto Brewing, if you're interested in working at a brewery, pouring beers or learning about brewing. Just a few, lots more. So if you're in town and you're looking for some work, just get on, start following a couple restaurants. Just scroll through, because lots of places are putting that on their Instagrams. I don't know if they're putting it on traditional, your Indeeds or whatever. But scroll through Instagrams. It's an easy, you can email places and say, I'm interested. I would love to learn how to bake or how to brew or whatever. And I think, didn't we already have a staffing, an F&B staffing shortage pre-COVID?
We sure did.
Already a problem. And I don't think that's gotten any better. I think a lot of folks, right, have taken the opportunity to be I'm going to learn a different thing. Yeah.
Yes. People self-described lifers have been and I'm done. Yeah. But if you are working at a restaurant, it does mean that you are eligible for the vaccine now, as of yesterday. Anybody who has to work, not from home, has to work in the general public and is difficult to social distance, which restaurants are included in that. You are part of the phase 1B, which opened up again Monday, March 8th. So if you're kind of on the fence about whether you want to work at the restaurants but you really want that vaccine, maybe go start working at a restaurant. Yeah. And then you can be eligible at that point if you can find one, of course.
Absolutely. Surely they'll get easier to find. Good transition, Charlie. Well done. In addition, even though we've had some changes to what we can and can't do, mask mandates, bars opening back up, sort of statewide, citywide, what have you, I've seen a lot of restaurants posting that they are still requiring their guests while they're visiting the restaurant to wear masks. Generally, if you're not sitting at your table eating. So I just wanted to throw that out there because I know a lot more people are eating out and feeling more comfortable with that. And also the weather is much better than it was, 2 weeks ago or something? We're about to have a really gorgeous week. So I think more people are feeling more comfortable with eating out, especially as more people get vaccinated, which is great. But if you're going to go out somewhere, maybe check their Instagram. Don't just show up without masks and assume it's going to be okay. Maybe check their gram, because a lot of places are saying, look, just for the safety of our staff and our customers, we know things are loosening up a little bit, but please still wear a mask when you come visit us if you're not sitting at a table. So again, check your gram, check those spots, and just see what people put stuff up. It's a good way to keep track of that. Just FYI.
Yeah, and a lot of this is coming because, and I'm getting a lot of this too. But our one mask mandate, basically, in South Carolina, coming from the governor's office, was mandates, and this is one of the last ones. This happened a month ago that he put this mandate in. But it was that restaurant workers had to wear masks during service, and then so that mandate got pulled, and people then see that and think cool, we don't have to wear masks anymore. Just because there's not a mandate doesn't mean you're not supposed to wear a mask anymore. It's still highly recommended to wear them when you go out, especially if you're in a crowded place. So please respect the private business and what they're asking you to do. Probably the person who's asking you to put that mask on is not the person in charge who's making the rules. So be kind to them and just follow directions if you want to eat there.
Yeah.
Just be nice. Just be nice people. That's all. Everyone's just trying to keep everyone else safe. That's all. So yeah. So just to clarify, just because there's not a mandate doesn't mean that it's not still very much recommended from the state and national health departments. because there's a National Health Department.
Cool.
Yeah, so some cool thing happened. So East Cooper Community Outreach out of Mount Pleasant, or ECHO, ECCO, they just launched a program called Smart Choice. Now, they are the first client choice food pantry in South Carolina. So if you're not familiar with how food pantries work, it's typically like you just get a box of stuff, which is whatever they have. I know a couple of years ago, my sister's neighbor had to rely on food pantry stuff, and she wrote this whole thing about like, please, when you're donating food to food pantries, that make sure it's quality stuff, because pretty much everything in his box was expired, and it was just almost useless. Just kind of like random things that's really hard to make a meal out of altogether, and that's just what food pantries are working with. So anyway, obviously a bigger need this year, but with this. What they're already doing, they've recently launched an online program, and so people can go on and like just like their online shopping, and online order from the pantry. And so the pantry's just like, this is great because one, it's really easy to keep track of inventory, and then it's also really easy to see what's in high demand, like what the folks that we serve need. They want to emphasize that the program is free. So if you are in need of food assistance, do not be afraid to sign up. And you can sign up and go home with groceries the same day.
That's amazing. Great. I love that. That's a great example of like technology working well.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just love it. Well, not quite as, I don't know, cool, I suppose, but still pretty cool if you like shots. We love El Pincho Taco. We've talked about El Pincho Taco, and they're very close to me. They have some new shots, and I don't actually know how new these shots are, but they put them on their Instagram, and I had not heard of them. So I just wanted to throw it out there again, since we're feeling more comfortable and people are out there maybe celebrating being vaccinated or whatever. They are very creative with their drinks over to El Pincho Taco. Lots of fun flavors, but they have some fun shots, and I just love this picture, and I love how this looks. So they've got a watermelon shot, a horchata shot. Love horchata. That sounds great. And I don't know. I'm desperate to find out. I tried to figure it out. It's not on their menu online. They have a Muppet shot. I really want to know what the Muppet shot is. I have not been able to figure it out. So if anybody goes, get that and tell us what it is. I'm curious. I want to go get it just to find out what it is. So that's definitely the horchata shot on the left, which looks delicious. Again, I think that's the watermelon shot on the right with the tajin, the seasoning on the rim, and I think that might be a little piece of watermelon, maybe even like watermelon gummy covered in tajin. But they say Muppet shot. It says right here. I don't know. I've been looking.
It's like a take on like a fuzzy navel, maybe?
Maybe. I'm so curious. I might have to go just to find out what it is. But so if anybody out there goes, please tell us what a Muppet shot is. Pincho Taco, please tell us what it is. Put something on your gram. Or just wait for me to come try it because I am so curious. And there's so much last time. They were doing 2-for-1 margaritas, and now they're doing get a medium-sized marg and get a free shot of tequila. So they're doing lots of fun stuff over there at El Pincho Taco. They always are. Another place that we have really loved recently, Jalisco, which we did this for our taco tasting. You had a Jalisco for Restaurant Week?
We did for Restaurant Week, and it was also part of our Valentine's takeout buffet spread. We went back there.
It's a great tradition. Well, they are also, again, sort of like El Pincho. They seems like they always have kind of fun specials going on. So they're doing Marg Madness, the play on March Madness. I don't know anything about March Madness other than it's basketball and brackets. So you fill in the brackets of the teams, you place bets, and I don't know. So they're doing Marg Madness. They have apparently a lot of great flavored margaritas. So every next few days, we'll be posting a story with 2 of our margs going head to head for you to vote on your favorite flavor. The winning marg will be 50% off for the first week of April, so you can enjoy it while watching the final March Madness games on TV, on their TVs. They apparently have 9 flavors of marg. I'm curious. I like margs. I want to know. So check their stories if you like their margs, if you just like margs in general, and place your votes. And whoever wins will be half off for the first week of April, which sounds great. So just follow them and keep an eye on their stories for some marg madness. Speaking of fun stuff, I tried to go to Jack of Cups the other day, Charlie, as you know.
Right. Yeah.
They sold out of food.
No.
By the time I got there, so if you guys don't know, Jack of Cups has been doing, we've seen a couple different restaurants doing this recently, doing different like cuisine styles, stuff they don't usually do, switching up cuisine styles, being like, we're going to do Indian food for a month, or we're going to do Thai food for 3 months or whatever. So Jack of Cups for a while has been doing this really amazing Italian take on their, not really on their cuisine, but Italian menu. And I think today is the last day. I wanted to go the other day so I could get in the door and get it. They sold out. It's been enormously popular. Jack of Cups is probably one of the best restaurants in Folly. But if you missed it, right now, literally right now, they are doing a pop-up at Paddock and Whiskey, which is in James Island. Jack of Cups, I didn't know that they even did pop-ups, but they are popping up there with their Italian menu. I don't know if this is just a way to extend the Italian menu. I hope that they do extend it, or maybe like come back to this, because I think it's been wildly popular. They've been calling it right here, Giacomettazzi Salone.
It's not a saloon, though. It's not a real saloon.
It's not a saloon. Don't come for us.
Constitutional.
Leave us alone. Leave Jack of Cups alone. But this sounds so good. I wanted to try the soup, cream of pickle and celery. That sounds incredible. All the stuff sounds good. They do really great. They're known for doing great food, and especially great, not only vegan food, but great vegan food as well. Red sauce, cream sauce, gnocchi, and a Genoese for dessert. So this is going on literally this minute. If you want to go, it'll be going on until 9 o'clock. Head over to Paddock and Whiskey. Let us know how that cream of pickle and celery soup is, because I am curious. And they say there should be doing a new menu reveal. So keep an eye out if you're a big fan of Jack of Cups. Keep an eye on what the new menu is going to look like. And hopefully they bring back Giacomettazzi Salone pretty soon, because I didn't get to get any, and I'm sad.
Oh.
So we've talked about 222 before. 222 Pastry is a little pop-up bakery that does vegan pastry here in town. We got their cupcakes. You got some of their cupcakes for our Halloween thing?
Halloween, yep. That was your Halloween trick-or-treat.
That was so good, and their stuff looks so beautiful. So they've started a new thing where they're offering a box of the week, and they're just, going to have a nice little mix of different pastries they'll be offering every week. They'll have a new menu drop each week, and they have a pop-up location where you can go. Pickups on Saturday, so you've got their Mount Pleasant pop-up location, which you can find in their gram here. And she did say she set up a temporary website for this, so 222pastry.com if you want to check this out as well. But this week's box, 2 orange strawberry creamsicle cake bars, 2 matcha pistachio cookie sandwiches with pistachio buttercream, 2 baked chocolate glazed donuts with aquafaba meringue. If you don't know what aquafaba is, something that vegan bakers or people that are baking vegan use in place of egg whites. It's actually, you get a can of chickpeas. It's the liquid that is in the can of chickpeas, because that stuff can be whipped. You can whip air into it like you can with egg whites and get it stiff and pretty and bake it. And it can basically do all the things that egg whites can as far as like meringue and baking things. Aquafaba.
TIL.
TIL. So you can email them to order. Their email is right here, 222pastry.com. Or like I said, you can go to their website, 222pastry.com. So nice.
Lovely. Very nice. We are going to be moving on to what's going to happen. So this is future events to keep an eye out for or make plans for. Palmer, take it away.
Thanks. So the another returning to Folly Beach, Folly Washout, the tour company that I used to part own and run. I don't know what it was about our phone number. We would have people call all the time and be like, is this the Washout? We'd be like, no, this is a tour company. So I don't know if we had a phone number close to theirs. Anyway, they have partnered with Pet Helpers, which is a pet rescue adoption center here in Charleston that is very nice and lovely. They've partnered with Pet Helpers. They're doing oyster night. So you guys may or may not know, we are running toward the end of oyster season. I think we've got like 2 months left in oyster season. So get out there and get you some in some way. But in honor of sort of the end of the season, the Washout in Folly is doing oyster nights, 4 nights of oysters. So this is a couple different things going on here. You pay $15, and that $15 goes to Pet Helpers, supports their pet shelter. I believe they're a no-kill adoption shelter, which is lovely. So $15.
Where's our little Davy boy from?
Oh, really? That's where you got Davy? Oh,
Yay.
I looked there for my kitties. I didn't find the kitties that I ended up having, but it's a lovely, lovely facility. So we're big fans of Pet Helpers. But $15 donation to Pet Helpers. You get a voucher for a bucket of oysters, a T-shirt, and 1 entry to the Folly Beach Prize Wagon Raffle. So if you're, again, trying to get in the oysters, we don't have a lot of time left in the season, head over to the Washout. And give them $15 toward Pet Helpers, and get yourself some nice fresh oysters, and get a chance to win all that cool beach stuff.
All that cool beach stuff. That sounds great, because beach seasons are coming.
Beach seasons are coming on route.
We can actually go this year.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be busy this year, I'm sure.
It'll be busy, yeah. But like actually going when it's not miserable outside. I basically only go to the beach in like April and May.
Yeah,
maybe September.
You know.
So something for the kiddos. If you have some kiddos at home and you're looking for some summer camps for them. So the River Dogs do several week-long camps. Obviously, baseball is going to be one of them, but they are doing 3 culinary camps this summer. 1 each week in June, July, and August. You'll get to spend a week with Chef Josh Shea. They'll learn how to cook ballpark favorites and specialties, as well as more complex dishes as well. So, if you're looking to get your kids, learning how to make a baller hot dog.
This sounds so amazing. A genius thing for River Dogs to do, and exactly like something my mom would have shipped me off to be like, you go learn how to cook hot dogs. Just go. You'll be fine. Like, what? Why? Just go. Just go learn how to cook. It'll be great, and I'm sure it will be great, and those kids will love it.
It'll be so much fun. Like it's happening in the Segra Club, which is like the big thing that they opened up a couple years ago, like looking out on the field and whole new brand new facility. So I would totally be down for this if I was a kid. If I was eligible to do this.
I want to explain that to a kid too. Be like, we're sending you to this camp. You're gonna learn how to cook hot dogs. And be like, what? I'm what? Yeah, maybe you'll get to run around the field. I don't know. Who knows? Let's go. Get in the car. That sounds great. We've seen a lot of a lot of food trucks. Kind of maybe a new generation of popularity of food trucks here in town and traveling food. This is a food truck not based in Charleston. It's a chef out of California that travels across the country. They're a vegan cook, vegan chef, and do like Southern, they call themselves Southern Fried Vegan. They're coming to the Hold. You guys might know that the Hold is Revelry Brewing's sour beer house, just a block behind Revelry Brewing. It's great. It's smaller, a little more intimate than Revelry. It's really lovely. And if you like sour beer, they put up some great stuff. Southern Fried Vegan, as I said, they claim first vegan pop-up vendor in Southern California, number 1 vegan barbecue joint in the U.S., according to Veg News, and travels the U.S. So he goes all across the country, peddling his vegan sort of wares. So he's coming to Savannah, he's coming here, Columbia, Augusta, Atlanta, Nashville, Birmingham. This stuff looks so great. I am excited. Any type of like vegan, like Southern food, I am always excited to try. So I will definitely be going on Friday. But if you're a fan, come on by the Hold on Friday and try Southern Fried Vegan. And if you're in any of these places, if you're tuning in and maybe you're closer to one of these other southeastern cities, maybe you're closer to Savannah or Columbia, check out some of these other dates. And they'll be, it's like he's hitting all breweries. But come check out the Hold on Friday and get some like Southern hearty vegan food. It looks delicious.
I can only assume you're making plans to hop across the park.
Oh, absolutely. I'm definitely going. I already told Ben, said this is going to be dinner on Friday. So just so you know, just so you're ready. Another pop-up that looks great, looks exciting, Snob. And yes, it is a restaurant slightly north of Broad that if you've traveled here, you might have eaten at. Snob is, I think, one of the favorite for visitors. It's a lovely spot. It is on East Bay Street in our little kind of restaurant corridor there. But I didn't know they did pop-ups. I don't know if this is something they started last year, pandemic, but they've done a couple now, and I think they've been really well received. So Monkle Brewing, I feel like I would talk about Monkle Brewing almost every week that we do this, because I love them, and they're some of my favorite breweries. But they're doing a pop-up in Monkle, and they're coming tomorrow, and they've got this great German-inspired menu. So we've talked about the fact that Monkle is a German-inspired brewery. They make German beers inspired by some of the monastic beers, traditional style German beers of Germany. That sentence was going to be different in my head. Anyway, Monkle has been hosting a lot of amazing food trucks and pop-ups, so keep your eye on them in general for food. But Snob's coming tomorrow and is doing this fantastic looking German menu: a beet salad, a bratwurst, chicken schnitzel. This vegetable sandwich sounds so good. Pesto goat cheese, dessert sides, the whole thing. So if you're a big fan of German food, I feel like it's something we don't have a ton of.
Not really.
Not really. I don't know if it's just like maybe it doesn't suit the climate so much. I don't know. But it does feel like I think this will be like a nice, lovely spring. We feel like a week in Bavaria. I don't know.
Sounds beautiful. Beautiful.
You want to pretend that you're in Bavaria, go to Monkle tomorrow and let Snob cook you some wonderful German food. I love brats. I try and make vegan brats a lot, and they're for the most part really good. These all sound really good.
Very nice, very nice. We've got a book release coming out next week. I'll probably mention it again next Tuesday because that's when it's coming out. Super Tuesday, March 16th. We have I don't know if I read this correctly, but apparently the first book by a Black pitmaster.
Really?
Yeah. So Rodney Scott, our very own beloved Rodney Scott, who we've already talked about at least, twice today?
Yeah.
And again, he's another one that gets mentioned pretty much every episode. But so he is releasing Rodney Scott's World of Barbecue. It is going to feature stunning photography, build your own pit instructions, lots of storytelling, and lots of recipes as well, including, because I know you're thinking it, Ella's banana pudding.
And pudding. I can't believe he's putting that recipe out into the world.
Right? I mean, you're not going to make it as good as he does because that's just the way it is. But it is available for pre-order. If you're looking to get a hold of a little piece of barbecue memorabilia and info and stories and recipes and building your own pit.
Build your own pit sounds so much fun. I can see Noah doing that, trying to dig a pit in y'all's backyard.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen at some point in our lives. We're going to have a barbecue pit. I'm fine with it. Rodney Scott's World of Barbecue coming out next Tuesday, and you can pre-order today.
So exciting!
Yeah.
So exciting. Congratulations on the book, Rodney, while we're here.
Indeed.
Last little thing in our what's going to happen. I just discovered this today. These are future plans. You guys might be familiar with Harbinger, the coffee shop on King Street, Upper King here. Lovely little coffee shop. They make great baked goods, great coffee. We go a good bit. The two women, it's women owned, two women actually went to high school with one of them. If you're a local, if you've lived here, you might recognize this spot. I had a tiny dream for years to buy this place and turn it into like a very tiny brewery and coffee house called Small Beer. And I guess maybe that won't happen now, but that's okay because I got other stuff going on. This is this tiny little place that, like so many places in Charleston, used to be a service station / like gas station. And like, again, there's fuel is like this Cial Bell biscuit. There's so many of these around. Leon's, exactly, like little garages that have been converted. Anyway, this little spot, the neighborhood around it's a very, very cute neighborhood, but this has just been sitting like this, kind of boarded up and empty for a long, long time. I mean, I think as long as I've been living in Charleston, if not much longer. So they have partnered with Meeting Green, which is a plant shop, nursery, garden shop, to save it, rejuvenate it, and turn it into this concept that they say is inspired by UK garden shops. They're going to call it Haven, they hope, to turn it into little, again, like cafe, garden shop, greenhouse, shared space, inspired by the garden shops of the UK, guided by the expertise of their team. I think this is an adorable proposal. They're going to have, and if you've been to Harbinger, this is very typical of their food, like lovely, fresh, kind of veggie forward-ish, but not, only vegan. They are very passionate about bagels and think that we should have more bagels. There's going to be bagels, lovely salads, lighter fare in the afternoon to accompany a glass of wine in the greenhouse or garden. It just sounds really lovely, and delicious coffee. There's going to be this lovely garden shop. And then I like this Too Good Stewardship greenscape. So there's going to, of course, be garden shop. There'll be some lovely, lovely greenery going in. And then they're really considering, because this is, I believe, a part of the city that tends to flood fairly badly, things that they can do to help alleviate that. So pervious materials, bioswales, a lot of stuff. They've really done a lot of great thinking and planning around this. So head over to this, evenonashley.com is the website. Head on over if you want to read all about this yourself, read about the space and what they have planned. So if you're interested in this, this looks cool to you and you would love to see this go in this, again, empty, been sitting there for decades space, you can sign the petition, and they have their mission and FAQs. You can ask questions about like what worries you might have as a Charleston local. I think they've really done a really great job of addressing some of this stuff. So exciting to see. And I know the girls behind Harbinger are thoughtful, lovely people. So I'm excited to see what they do with it.
Very nice. Well, lovely community concern as well.
Absolutely. Cool. Yeah. Yep. So we'll end on our virtual foodality segment.
Virtual foodality. So I came across this last week. So Chef Dwayne Pierce has started a new YouTube channel for a topic very dear to his. He's very passionate about this particular issue. It's called Feed the Soul, THA, Feed the Soul, and it's about homelessness in Charleston. And he interviews those who are homeless and the effects that have on their life. So living in and around town, the urban areas, and also those who live in the woods as well. But if you're interested in checking this out and hearing directly from the folks that are most affected by homelessness, check out this YouTube channel started by Chef Dwayne Pierce.
Very cool. Voices we don't hear often. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Again, something not quite as cool as that, but I just stumbled upon this, I think today, an Instagrammer that I like a lot, called Eating Bird Food, who does a lot of nice recipes. She was inspired by Lizzo, the artiste, the musician, and Lizzo's Instagram, Lizzo Be Eaten, which she tags in here. So she calls this nature cereal, or rather Lizzo called this nature cereal. So what this is you combine pomegranate arils, pomegranate seeds, fresh strawberries, blackberries, blueberries, really any berries you want in a bowl. And then you top that off with coconut water. And she actually had a young Thai coconut on hand that she used, but you can use bottled coconut water. She put ice in, and then I watched Lizzo's video too. And Lizzo was like, I put ice in my cereal anyway, which I didn't know people did that, but Lizzo apparently does that. So she put water in there, or ice in this. And it's apparently amazing. She compares it, eating bird food compares it to a deconstructed smoothie. She and Lizzo talk about how like the coconut water actually tastes creamy as you eat it. So like, you think it'll just be like fruit and water, but there is like a creamy component to it. Pomegranate seeds have a nice crunch to them. And the ice keeps things cold. So people are like, ooh, this is going to be a great, refreshing summer, like, breakfast thing perhaps, or a snack. I think Lizzo also, when she did hers, put some frozen blackberries in also to help keep it cold. And the same thing happens with regular cereal, where like the fruit kind of starts to like bleed a little bit into the coconut water. So you get like pretty pink, like you get like flavored, like berry flavored coconut water, just like you get like cereal flavored milk. It looks great. I kind of want to try this. Pulling pomegranates apart and getting the seeds out is kind of a chore, but I think I might give this a go. So check out either Eating Bird Food or Lizzo's Instagram. And make yourself some nature cereal. These hot days that will be surely coming. Sounds kind of nice.
They're coming. Well, very cool. All right. Well, thank you for joining us tonight, y'all. We are Charleston Culinary Tours. We are a food tour company. All of our tours involve food or drink in some way. And we also do more than tours. We also do sit-down dinners and events, including Historic Supper Club and Dessert with Death, which is ghost stories and desserts, which is pretty fun. But otherwise, our main offerings are culinary tours of the area restaurants. It's a meal for most on every tour, and an overview of Charleston history via food. That is our focus, is history and cuisine. So if you're interested in checking out the local scene around the City Market and French Quarter on our downtown tour, or the Upper King Street, which is more of the modern vibe of the city, we do offer tours every day of the week. We are booking up fast, especially as we come up into the spring break season, as I mentioned before. So if you are going to be joining us in the next month or so, definitely go ahead and reserve your tickets now if there's a particular date and time you have in mind, because we're already selling out, which is crazy. It's awesome. Check us out, charlestonculinarytours.com. That's where you can find information about the tours and do your bookings, or call us directly. It'll save you on some booking fees. Check us out on social media, Instagram at Charleston Culinary Tours, to get all the latest scoops on the hottest restaurants in town, as well as our YouTube channel, Charleston Culinary Tours, and then of course Facebook, Charleston Culinary Tours. We got in there early with those names. So I think that's it. Anything else, Connor?
No, thanks for joining us. Let us know how you're liking the food news format. Let us know if there's anything you want us to add, like if you want us to hear about some job listings or stuff we tried about virtual foodality, if you like that or don't. I don't know. We're always eager to hear your comments, or if you have other ideas for stuff we should be trying out. We would love to hear them, so let us know.
Indeed. Thanks so much, y'all. And we'll see you next week on the 16th.
We'll talk about St. Patrick's Day.
And coming up on a year. We'll be on that 1 year anniversary.
That's so crazy.
Anyway, have a great night, y'all, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you. Hi, guys. Thanks for joining us for yet another Holy City Happy Hour. We hope you enjoyed this week. If you did enjoy it, we hope you'll hit the like down below, down there. If you liked it a lot and you want to see more and stay up to date with all the Charleston food news, please subscribe. Maybe that's like over this way. I don't know. You can hit the little bell that it's about somewhere to be notified when we post, if you really want to be up to date minute to minute on our food news here in Charleston. And throw us down in the comments what you thought of this episode. We hope you'll keep joining us. Thanks for watching. Bye.